Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back on K2Bon. I'm Tanguy Jacopin, and I'm always delighted to be with you. The topic of the day in the external analysis series is market share, volume growth, or value growth. What should I go for? So we're going to insist on the evolution of strategy on this topic and providing you a few examples before wrapping it up. Okay, so let's start without making any stop. So first, you need to realize that market share is no more a key success factor. What? Market share is no more a key success factor? Hey, can you explain it to me? Yes, of course. This is the reason why we're here. So market share explains or provides some issue concerning relative success compared to your competitors. Until I think it's quite why. Because are you sure your competitors are interested in this segment? This is a real challenge. Because if your competitors are no more interested in it, well, your market share can increase, and it's going to be a nice failure at the end. Are you sure that the value stays where you are right now with your product and services? Or can we say there's some value migration? What do I mean by value migration? I refer to the fact that when we are talking about a value chain, the value can go in different aspects of the product, and if your company do not control anymore the key issues, you're done. An example can be found out in the Intel syndrome, where initially, or let's say initially, in the 40-50 years ago, it was, if we consider the PC business, it was in the hardware that the margin was done, and then suddenly it moves to software. And this is the reason why you say Intel syndrome. Same story with the automotive sector, with a change in terms of priority from mechanical to electronic devices. Okay, so this is really important. And then when we're talking about forecast, what does it mean? Was it? I'm just comparing not to quarter one and quarter two in terms of year, but what are your forecasts? How can you review your perspective? And above all, watch out, because you may have the impression you're on the right track, and you're just on the verge to bankrupt. And in period of crisis, as the ones that we're living, industrialized countries above all, it can be, a killing question. Okay, so really pay attention to this. Okay, in emerging countries where you've got more growth, well, even if you make some mistake, it's still possible to recover most of the time. So it's okay, because if you increase, and this is what is in blue, increased market share does not necessarily lead to increased profitability, because if your cost increase more if your cost goes up more than proportionally to your sales, then profitability goes down. Okay, so this is really important that you pay some attention at this stage with your fixed and variable cost. Okay, that just to be sure that it's valuable to put some more incentive on market share. And here, another surprise: volume growth is no more a key success factor either. Well, hey, where is this guy? What is he? Is he going to change all my belief? No, I just want to inform you about what you should think about, and pay lots of attention to this aspect. Okay, so how can we explain it? You've got different ways first to obtain an increase of your volume. You can say you can lower your margin. You can say you can figure out existing customer. You can sell them more, and you can as well develop a wrong scope of activity. And when it happens, give you an illusion of success, because you say it's just a bit similar to the market share. It seems that, well, when things are going up, it can only be success. Watch out, watch out. Is it truly what you wanted to do? I'm not saying that when you got bad numbers, it's a good signal, but to a certain extent, you need to say, okay, I wanted to diversify. What is the result of my diversification? Are they providing some good result? Yes, no. If yes, why? If no, why? And keep in mind that not all the corporations need to have growth. Growth is mandatory. It's true for transnational corporation, no doubt. And they face a major risk, which is the risk of going out of their core business. But when you have a more reasonable size, it should be, to a certain extent, more reasonable to stay where you are and grow into adjacent segment. Okay? So pay lots of attention to these two elements, market share and volume growth, because sometimes they are not the key issues. By your position, value growth is the point. So if you want to be a successful company, you will see that it will depend always on the right segment of the value chain. And just to show what I'm saying, I'm going to give you two examples. Sector where you've got no growth, Coca-Cola. Well, they're able to improve. They've got and some low growth industry. PC business, it's really tough, but Lenovo is always growing. So it's quite interesting to note that the positioning on the value chain, a good understanding of what's happening now, what will happen in the future, and the ability to change your positioning in this value chain will definitely increase your value growth. And as a consequence, and this is the point, as a consequence, your market share will increase and volume growth can increase as well. But they will not necessarily increase for the opposite reason. Okay, so this is really important that you pay attention to this. And you will say, well, okay, but I've got a fair understanding of what's going to happen, but I don't have money. Okay, at this point, if you don't have money, you need to say, well, maybe you can use strategic alliances. And here you've got plenty of options. You can say you can work with equity. If you can't go for a pure merger and acquisition, you can say you can go for non-equity alliance. In this case, it would be a more short-term perspective, but at least you will get the right competencies. Okay, so it's really important that you remember that in all your action, are you going for value growth? Yes or no? What does it imply? Okay, as soon as you're able to do it, you're able to be a premium player. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye. See you soon in K2Born.